What is up, everyone? It's Ryan, living in Cambodia, making videos so you can see what it's like to live in the Kingdom of Wonder. The street I'm on, Street 240, is kind of like a boutique area in Phnom Penh. Great place to go if you want to buy some souvenirs or if you want to buy some clothes. I was here a couple weeks ago and I started chatting with Alan, the owner of A.N.D, learning about how this shop started and learning about what he's doing here, and I thought it was really cool, so we're back.
So my name is Alan and welcome to A.N.D, which is our small fair trade partnership working in fashion and interior design. So we are a Cambodian brand. I'm the only thing about this brand which is not Cambodian. So we support around 300 ladies, mostly ladies, men as well, weaving, hand weaving here across the Kingdom of Cambodia. And they do hand woven silk and cotton, fabrics for dress and fabrics for the home.
Did it start as clothing or did it start as fabric?
It started really, Ryan, as textiles. We do beautiful hand woven textiles here. They weren't elevated to a fashion level. We worked a lot on sizes of design, colors of design, and designs themselves. So as an experiment in 2011, I opened a very small shop on this street and mostly scarves hanging up. Then it developed and developed and developed.
Would you say most of your customers are expats, tourists, Cambodian?
I mean, for the shop, I guess over the year, they are mostly visitors, tourists from all over the world. So we have to kind of know what people are wearing, what they want to wear in different climates in different countries. We work with a lot of expats who want special things for special events, or just normal things to go and teach in, or quite exciting, smart things to work in. We work with some people on the ambassadorial level, with ambassadors and their wives who have events every 5 minutes. So we do a lot of custom work here, which keeps us going through the whole of the year. We have a small workroom upstairs, making our clothes, but also, as a fair trade provider, we try and work more and more in the provinces, where the girls and the men really need well-paid work. So that's what we do. We try and spread ourselves out as much as we can, and we're supporting different people, more people, kind of almost every month throughout the year. Everything you see in the store, by the way, is already paid for. The weavers, the makers, everybody's got their money, right? Some stores you see things which are bought in on consignment. They don't pay the producer until they actually sell the goods. We work in the opposite direction as a fair trade supplier. We also work with 3 teams around the city of disabled artisan. They could be polio disabled, quite a lot. They could also be landmine amputees, because sadly we still have a lot of hidden landmines around the kingdom. So they do all our upcycled things, all our bags, wallets, purses. Look at a range of bags which are, again, all our bags are made by our disabled partners. This is a bag made from cement sack, camel cement sack, which we can easily find in Cambodia. We wash it, of course, after it's been used on the construction sites. All the woodwork on here is hand-carved, reclaimed hardwood from Montelkiri. We don't use any plastic on this model at all. Has pockets inside and out, yeah, that's all hand-carved. All reclaimed, we don't use any new wood, we don't chop any trees. It makes a very strong, waterproof satchel, or we call it the laptop bag. But it can be used for the beach or for swimwear or whatever you want to use it for. I call this communist cotton. It's Chinese. It's quite crudely printed on a beautiful rough cotton. It's probably from the 50s and 60s with these colours. If we're lucky, we get the occasional scrap of it. I love it very much. The colours are always amazing, designs are amazing. It always wishes you double happiness or long life or something like that. And it's a very strong fabric, quite strong enough for using for bags. Srei Pao, Somto. Chui Kinomi and Niktinga, Okuncharan. So we use a lot of antique and vintage fabric, scraps which would otherwise be again thrown away. This is vintage, I think from the 50s or 60s. This comes from the villages of southern Laos. This is an ikat, a vintage kimono fabric from Japan.
So when you say it's vintage,
the fabric is second-hand or antique. We don't cut up kimono, but we get beautiful rolls of antique kimono fabric, silk and cotton, unused. I bring back things from all over the world where I'm traveling. We occasionally find things that we have people who call us and say, hey, we've got some Japanese fabric you might be interested in. So we buy it on the roll and we make it up here in one of our workrooms.
Do you have a favorite country for producing fabric?
No. We're in a fantastic region for fabric. India has the most amazing fabrics. This is an Indian block printed cotton. They carve a hard wooden block for every single color. There's like 4 or 5 colors on here. So every colour gets printed one by one by one, then they match it up with the other colours to make the flower, the leaf, the stem. Now we do a little bit of support to very clever weavers in Laos, where they use beautiful indigo, the pure blue indigo vegetable dye. And this colour is special because it's the true blue vegetable indigo. We're working now with a cotton project, which hopefully will give us homegrown indigo, the beautiful blue scarves and things like that. But right now, it is a very difficult technique, traditionally a difficult technique. So now we do work with weavers in Laos who give us these beautiful pieces.
I have this hanging on my wall.
You have that hanging on your wall?
Yeah.
Well, you must have very beautiful walls.
Yeah.
For sure. We also go to Malaysia and we buy vintage, beautiful sarong from Malaysia. We just started working in Java a little bit, beautiful Indonesian prints. So we're surrounded by fantastic fabric, but overall we are a Cambodian brand. We have the most amazing fabrics, but nobody really knows what we do in Cambodia. This is our signature technique, the ikat technique, I-K-A-T, ikat. Ikat means binding. Every single thread that goes across this piece has to be tied and dyed. Okay, so the thread might start white, then we dye it a bit grey, we leave it a bit white, we dye it grey, we leave it a bit white, so that makes up the pattern. That's why ikat has a traditionally fuzzy technique. It's a very imprecise technique, but that's the nature of it and that's the beauty of it. So every single of these thousands of threads that grows across the weft from side to side, they have to be hand dyed. It's a very labour intensive process, and that's what we do here. It's all hand done. And we have weavers working on this beautiful technique on cotton and silk, and these are some of our designs on cotton. We try to get quite a large scale design to have a lot of impact when you're wearing the garment, and this we buy by the metre from weavers in the provinces. All the weaving is done around the kingdom, but in the provinces, not really in the big cities. It's all done on hand looms. Big, very heavy old wooden looms are seated under the stilted houses, so the weavers are working in the cool and shade of the house. They have to be in the villages because they have the kids, they have the animals, they have the small holding around them. Husbands may be working in another city doing tuk-tuk driving, whatever, or construction work. So the ladies of the house, the young kids, the teenagers, are often on their own in the villages. So this is the work that they will do for us. The silk piece, also in ikat, the zigzaggy technique, let's call it like that. This is a wrap, a huge silk wrap or big scarf, also hand woven in the provinces. These are traditional patterns. They're quite a small scale, but we mix them together and mix the colours up to make it a bit more dynamic, a bit more interesting.
You find that Cambodia uses certain colors?
They do. They like quite bright colours. They use a lot of things like red and yellow together, which we might not do in the West so much, but it's a colour scheme that they very much like. And here's a piece of typical Cambodian colouring. As you can see, it's a kind of bronzy brown colour with quite a bright yellow, red, a bit of green, so quite bright contrast to colour is what they really like here. They're very beautiful things. You can see they mix it with purples and blues. They do a lot more, maybe a bit more adventurous mixing that we might do, but the scale is quite small, so they kind of get away with it somehow, and they're very interesting. This is a piece of folk art, really. People bring pieces into us all the time, and we try and respond favourably to that. And then when we get a good partnership going, then we might give them our own designs as well. So we start with usually with what they've got. It's always nice, you know, we can always find a spot for something rather like that. And if you look over here, these are very dynamic pieces. They are blankets, or again throwers, with a very graphic design, which is only done by one family that we support in the province. So those are designs and colours that we would give them, but the technique, you can see like a diamond pattern behind the weaving. That's a local technique that we find all over the country. We do menswear and women's wear. A lot of shops here have very pretty dresses. They don't do a lot for men. We love to do things for men. We use a lot of linen. When I first came here, it was very difficult to find pure cotton and pure linen in the market. So this is an example of what you were talking about, is a machine woven fabric on a cotton. So to keep a price like this, $25 for a very nice shirt, we would use a machine woven fabric.
Living in Cambodia, it's hot. What are the best fabrics?
Cotton and linen and rayon viscose. Yep. Rayon viscose is made from wood pulp, from waste wood, which is pulped into a sort of goo, and then the yarn is spun from that.
The fabrics that you're going to find in the markets, say the Russian market,
yes,
are they Cambodian made?
No. A lot of fabrics come in for the huge garment industry that we have here to the factories, which we do benefit from because fabric gets ejected from those back doors of factories occasionally for whatever reason, quite legitimate reason quite often, and we wait till it goes to the local traders, so our money goes to the local traders who supply fabric to us. Beautiful linens, beautiful cottons, other kinds of fabric all come to us from all sorts of places all over the world actually. So we don't know where that's printed, but it's likely to be in the Asian region somewhere because of the cost of printing in other parts of the world. We see a lot of Korean fabric here, a lot of Chinese fabric here for sure. And there are 3 big markets here that specialize in, that have fabrics, right? And I would say 99.9% polyester. So you have to kind of work your way around it, unless you want polyester.
Why would somebody want polyester?
Because they don't know what it is. So we offer to buy fabric for them, unless they want to buy their own fabric. A lot of people don't want to go and sort of battle around these huge markets. They prefer us to go. They say they want beige linen, olive green linen. We'll go and find that linen for them.
Where would you go to buy it?
Well, we have our secret sources, Ryan. Let's move on. No, I won't. All of our small pieces, the scraps, are kept. They're too good to throw away. So this again is communist cotton, put with African print, and the patchwork goes up. We sort the colours out here, and the patchwork goes up to the province of my manager, whom we're going to meet, and the girls do beautiful patchwork pieces for us. And it takes actually quite a lot of skill to make a nice, convincing patchwork like that. Pheap, do you have a moment to meet Mr. Ryan, please? So one thing you should know is that A.N.D wouldn't exist now if it wasn't for Mr. Pheap, right? Because he's our general manager and our co-designer. So he holds the whole thing together. All the human resources we jokingly call our staffing, all the things like that. And the work we do in the provinces is very important to us, as I said. We wouldn't have all this fabric if it wasn't for work that we do in the province, and Pheap handles all that. Our manager, Mr. Pheap, our co-designer, he put this one together. We are totally co-designed. I trained in England, he trained here in Phnom Penh.
So you teach each other things?
Yes. He teaches me more than I teach him.
Really?
Yes.
Even though you're much older.
A little bit older. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. We'll move on from that. This is all hand-carved, reclaimed hardwood. We don't cut any new trees down. And this is inlaid with antique Japanese porcelain. The balls are made here. The porcelain, which is antique, is made in Japan because it's antique Japanese porcelain,
you
right?
put the two together?
We do, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're quite clever.
Yeah.
So we looked at the Japanese porcelain inlaid into wood. These are antique Japanese porcelain, hand cut and put into earrings. And the mounting on these, we call bullet brass. It's the brass that we make from bullets and landmine casings. So it's an upcycled metal onto an antique Japanese porcelain. We also work with a very clever gentleman who carves buffalo horn for us.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful. Sometimes we say very beautiful, Ryan. Also from buffalo horn. The buffalo has a long and useful life. When it keels over, legs in the air, that's when we cut off the horns and make beautiful things, right? Oh, I would say very beautiful things from it.
Very, very beautiful.
Very, very beautiful things. Nice, huh? That's patchwork from vintage fabric.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The fabric is all from the river,
Oh, it is?
right?
Oh,
The fabric
okay.
is all from the river.
Yeah.
And we'll look at this, Ryan. Where are you? We'll look at this. This fabric comes from the river. We work with a company called ROC, River Ocean Cleanup. They dredge the river to make it more fishable and swimmable, people like you and me. And then a lot of fabric comes out of the river. It comes from accidental lossing when people are, are washing their clothes. It comes from very naughty factories throwing all their rejects in the river. Very, very naughty factories as well. So we clean it, and it goes into patchwork quite often. Then it goes onto the catwalk, because usually every year in Phnom Penh there's a big upcycled fashion show on the catwalk. This is where we use up all our scraps of cotton from our workroom upstairs. So all these lines of beautiful colours, they all started off as fabric, which we made into garments. We keep all our scraps of cotton and any other fabric we use. That goes down to a ladies' project that we support in the province, and they hand weave it into these floor mats for us. So this travel bag is very light before you put your own stuff in it. They're very well made, they have pockets inside and out, and these are of course the perfect size for putting up in the what is it called above where you sit and go somewhere nice on the aeroplane.
The overhead.
The overhead compartment, exactly. In fact, you and I would make great stewards. I can see that on Ryanair. This is a simple kurta. This is $45. It happens to be made from a pure linen, and we do this technique here where we use the actual leaves to make the impression on the fabric. Look at these beautiful huge leaves that we have in the kingdom here. I'll tell you about that technique in a minute. All you have to do now, viewers, is admire our beautiful t-shirts. Each one is a different piece of a little work of art there for you. Sometimes it's called eco-printing, or we call it botanical printing if we call it anything at all. This is where we place the actual leaves from the village, from the rainforest, onto the silk, and it's then rolled up into a small parcel and it's steamed. The steaming takes a long time to do because it has to be there for many hours. So the slow process of the steam going through the layers of silk in the bundle has to be given time to work out. And that process gets the texture and the color of the leaf permanently onto the silk. We are now producing a collection called Natural Selection, which will be shown on the catwalk here. We're showing on the 30th of May at Rosewood Hotel. When people think of fair trade clothes, they don't often think of fashion, right? Because frankly speaking, they usually aren't, right?
Yeah, usually it's a bit more like...
They look like they're woven out of porridge or something.
Yeah.
And they do. I mean, come on, let's face it. So our aim, if we have an aim, is to put fashion into fair trade. And we know from our international clientele, both walking in the door and from our export, that what we're doing is slowly finding approval. When we order the cotton from the weavers, it comes by the meter and it comes like this, right? So this is a piece of hand-woven ikat cotton in a beautiful, bold, kind of optical pattern.
If somebody wants some custom thing made, how long does it typically take?
Depends what it is and how complicated it is, but usually we can turn things around within a week. But if it's actually a dress or a top of it, we can actually turn it around in a day.
Oh, wow.
Because our girls upstairs, they love overtime, which we can sometimes give them. But above where we are is our cutting room, storeroom and sewing room. But on the top of the house is a beautiful big flat which we give to the girls. And they live there, huge kitchen, place for growing some herbs, place for drying their clothes, all the rest of it. Because our ladies that work in the sewing room, they're all from village tailors around the kingdom, and they basically come here for a better job, a better salary, because they're all sending money back to their families. We pay maternity leave for them, and we give sick leave, we do all sorts of things for them. So we have 5 full-time ladies here, but we also have a team in the province who are doing sewing, beautiful sewing for us. And for them, we train them, of course. Pheap trains them. When I say we, it's he. We give them machines, very good machines. All our machines that we use are all reconditioned machines from factories. There's a great industry in doing reconditioned sewing machines, so we never buy anything new if we can avoid it. And they come very well reconditioned. There's a whole area of the town that does reconditioned sewing machines. You're thinking, wow. They might come here and say, oh wow, what's that? And we said, well, that's a hand-embroidered coat. This is a technique called sashiko, Japanese technique. But Pheap has taught his ladies in the province how to do it. And the lining is a vintage embroidered Chinese satin piece with a beautiful design of birds and peonies on it.
Gorgeous.
A new word and a very apt one, Ryan. Thank you. I would say gorgeous too.
So if somebody wants to buy...
They can buy it by, they can exactly buy it by the meter, 1 meter, half a meter.
How much would something like that, like a meter per meter?
$15.
Oh wow. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And we're very much aware that people can go and buy from another store, or they can buy like a printed ikat from the Russian market if they really want to. It won't be like this. It won't be on a cotton, it'll be on like a slimy polyester. But it'll be like $1 a meter. So it's up to what they want, really. If they want slime, there's plenty of it around. We're open every day of the year from 8:30 till 6:30, 8 till 6:30. Please come and see us.
Where do you see your business and the Cambodian fashion scene heading in the next few years?
I mean, we're very lucky to have Phnom Penh Designers Week here with the amazing support they give to local and international designers. So hopefully that will keep going. There's still a lot of work to do on informing people, making them aware of the beautiful hand-woven fabric we do here. Because people know about Thai silk, they know about, I don't know, whatever they know about. They don't really have an image quite often of what beautiful things we can do in Cambodia. So we must keep raising awareness of that. That's one of the things that really is very dear to our DNA. And DNA is the opposite of A.N.D, so we keep going on that.
That's brilliant. All right, huge thank you to Alan and his staff for showing me around, showing me the store, and talking about this cool business he's got going here in Cambodia. Definitely check it out if you are in the Kingdom of Wonder. If you're an expat here, this is a great spot to buy some cool clothing, some better quality clothing than you're going to find in the Cambodian markets for sure. And if you're a tourist, this is a great spot to buy a souvenir. Definitely check it out. And thank you guys for watching. Take care. Comb your hair. I'm out.